record. All right, we are live. Thank you everyone for joining us. As people continue to jump on, we'll take introductions in a little while. I just want to thank you for your time this evening. We have a very exciting meeting for you tonight, and we have a lot of information to cover. So we're going to move fast. I'm going to be respectful of your time. But I just want to say welcome to everyone out there, no matter where you're joining us, whether you're here in the beautiful Seattle area, or if you're in another part of the country, or even another part of the world. The exciting thing about this business is we are impacting people everywhere, and we're starting to see the reach in other countries. And I know, Dan, your business is really just absolutely exploding over in Europe. And it's just a really exciting time to be part of Enagic. We have so many new leaders that are just stepping up and rising to the occasion. So a lot of great stuff happening around the office here in Seattle. I know that there was a great presentation this last weekend by Howard Phillips. And then we have a new presenter coming up here in a few weeks. Alan Moons is going to be presenting at the end of the month. So really exciting. I'm just so proud to see so many newer distributors and rising stars stepping up and just running with it. So just very.
There's Alan now.
There he is. Alan, we just missed you, man. We were talking about you, how you're going to be doing the presentation here in a few weeks. And we're really excited about that. And I know that you're busy preparing for that. So we're just excited. We're excited for that. It's good to see you tonight.
Oh, good. Perfect.
So, okay. So I'm going to, without too much further ado, I'm going to just jump right into the presentation here, make a few quick announcements, and then we're going to do a quick review of what we've been doing over the last few weeks. And just to give you just a general synopsis of what we've been doing, we have been covering the 7 basic skills to become a master at your business. And these 7 simple skills are very easy to learn. They're easy to master, and anyone can master them. It's very easy to teach and train on. And so we're just going through those one by one. We've covered the first 3 skills so far up to this week. Tonight we're going to do a very quick review on those 3 skills. And tonight we're going to jump into the 4th skill, and I have some very special guests that are going to be joining us in just a little while here to do that presentation for you tonight. So I'm going to share my screen and get the PowerPoint up here. All right. Okay, so thank you again, everyone, for joining us. This has been a really exciting series, putting this together and presenting this and hearing the feedback. And again, I welcome your constructive criticism, your feedback, anything that we can do to make this call better and more effective for you. I'm completely open to that. So please reach out with suggestions. We have a lot of great things coming up. As always, the 9 a.m. Kangen call every single Saturday morning with Eli and Jelena Daffish. If you just take a screenshot of this slide so you have this information, I'm not going to go through it point by point, but it's all there. Make sure that you're dialing into the Eli and Jelena call every Saturday. Make sure you're listening to the recording throughout the week. If you're in the Seattle area, we have business training every Tuesday at 2:30 at Enagic. And we have a True Health open house every Saturday, full demo, business presentation. Office is always buzzing, people getting water, people buying machines. It's just a great time to be there. And then we have a big major event coming up on April 25th and 26th here in Washington. It's going to be in Linwood. So if you're out of the area or if you're in the tri-state area, see if you can get here. It's going to be a fantastic time. Carlos Gonzalez is going to be here. JV Pacifico and Kangen Joe is going to be here. And that event is being hosted by John and Christine Deasy. So please get here to the Seattle area if you can make it to that. The biggest event of the year is going to be September 3rd through the 5th in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Mirage Hotel and Casino. Tickets are on sale now. I think they're $200. For what you're getting, that's nothing. If you are a part of Enagic and if you are committed to your Enagic business, you must be at this event. There's nothing else to it. We're giving you 6 months notice to get there, literally 6 months to the day to get there. And it's cheap to get to Vegas. You could share a room, but the power and what you're going to take away from this event meeting leaders from all around the world, shaking hands with, the Enagic celebrities, and just really networking and finding out what this global mission is all about and the way that we're impacting people all over the world. Like I said, my first global event, I'll never forget it. And I will never miss a global event since then. It's that powerful. And more important, you want to make sure that your team's there. You want to make sure that you have your new distributors there. You want to make sure that you have people that aren't even in your business there yet. If you know somebody that lives in the area, get them there. If you know somebody that you wanted to get involved in your business for a while, buy them a ticket. Because if they go to this event, they will leave that event part of your business. Okay? So it's very, very important that you get there and that you have new people there. Okay, so we've been talking about these 7 skills. They're very simple. Like I said, anyone can learn them. And you get to earn a lot of money while you're learning these skills. As we constantly discuss, there's only 3 elements to every business. We have the product, we have the process, and we have the people. In the case of Enagic, the only variable is us, the people. So it's up to us to go to work on these skills and develop these skills to become the best we can possibly be. Okay, so the 7 skills, they're so simple. And we've already covered the first 3, and we're going to review those tonight: finding prospects, inviting, and presenting. Tonight, our focus is going to be on following up. Because this, and I think this is really where most Enagic distributors really get behind the 8 ball. I think we really miss on following up. And I have 2 absolute masters at this skill on the call to join us and present on this evening. In 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about closing. And then our 6th session is going to be on helping new distributors get started, and then building for events. And then we're going to cap off this entire series with an episode on mindset hosted by Sam Tran. So it's going to be a really exciting month and a half going forward as we wrap up this training. Okay, so skill number 1, finding people. Very simple. It is a skill. Anyone can learn it. If you learn the skill, you're never going to run out of people to talk to, which means you're never going to run out of business. It's the most important skill, because if we don't have anyone to share what we have, then nobody's ever going to join our business. Okay, so it's amazing how many people you really know. Professionals in this business, it's a core skill. This is the number 1 priority every single day, is going out and finding new people. Okay, so when we're talking to people, we're interviewing them. We're just asking them simple, basic questions, finding out about them, what it is that they do, what it is that they like, what drives them, what motivates them. Okay, find a common interest, something that we can have a common ground with, and find out and determine whether or not these are people that are even qualified to be part of our business. Okay, next we're going to identify whether or not that person is a qualified person for our business. Do they have a need for our product? Do they have a need for our opportunity? Okay, instead of going out and presenting to people or pitching people who we haven't qualified yet, how do we know if this business is right for them, right? So we have to ask questions to find out, then we can identify, and then simply, we just introduce them to someone other than us. It's the easiest way to do this business and to engage, because we're relying on someone, typically someone who knows more than us already, to help us move them through the process. Okay, so it's very easy to master this skill. First, you just make a list, but you put everyone on that list. Everyone doesn't, even if they tell you they'd never be part of your business, put them on your list anyway. Okay, then who do they know? This is called anchoring. Dig into their network. Who do they know? Okay, and then your list is constantly expanding. You're setting goals. I try to meet one new person every day, whether they become part of my business or a prospect or not. I like to meet new people. I like to write a new name down on my list every day. Okay, and set goals for how many people you want to meet per week. And then most importantly, get out there and network on purpose, because prospecting can actually be a lot of fun. In fact, the longer I'm part of this business, the more I love prospecting, because I'm out there doing what I enjoy doing, talking with people who enjoy the same type of things. So where do we meet people? Well, everywhere. Networking groups, social media, restaurants, coffee shops, while you're traveling, the mall, the golf course, church, wherever. The key is just find something you enjoy doing and go out and do it and talk to other people that are doing it. And you'll meet people that are very like-minded, and you'll find this business much more enjoyable, and you'll find yourself enjoying much more success. Using a database. Doesn't matter how you set up your database. These are just simple templates that I like to use, but if you'd like these, reach out to me and I can email them to you. But it doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you do it. Some people like to use Excel. I like to do both. I like to have a written list, and then I like to back it up on Excel, because I like to sort and do different things with Excel. But you don't have to be super high tech. You can just have a sheet of paper with some names written on it, as long as you're consistent and you're constantly expanding that list. Okay. So here's how you can be effective at this. Always be ready to meet your next 6A. What's that mean? When you go out to the grocery store, even if it's for a gallon of milk, okay, look at yourself in the mirror. Don't go out there like you just rolled out of bed. Look good. Look like you're going to meet your next 6A, okay? Look good. Be conscious of how you look. Be conscious of how you smell. Do you have stuff in your teeth? Does your breath stink? Whatever. Just make sure that you are ready to meet that next person, because you never know when you're going to meet them. Never disqualify anyone. Even if they tell you that they'll never, ever, ever be part of your business, again, they go on your list, because our guests today, again, are masters at bringing people into this business who have told them at one point or another that they would never be part of their business. So we know for a fact that that never means anything. Ask about their interests. What are they into? Their passions. Why are they doing what they do? And then be yourself. Just be your best self. Be a better version of you. Give genuine compliments. Make eye contact. Smile. Make sure you have a genuine smile. Represent your brand. Have your Kangen water bottle. Have business cards. Just make sure that you are adequate. You're properly representing Enagic. And most importantly, have fun. Because if you're having fun, then you're going to have more success. Makes sense, right? Okay, skill number 2 is inviting. We call this the gateway skill. The reason for that is because, again, no one can ever join our business if we don't have the opportunity to show them what we have to offer. So this is a pivotal skill in our business. So when we're inviting, it's important to keep in mind that we're not hunters, we're farmers. We're not out there trying to bag the next elephant. We're out there trying to educate people and help them understand while building relationships. Relationships are paramount and cornerstone to this business. Next, be empathetic. Remember how you were invited to that first event that you ever went to. I remember how Carlos Gonzalez invited me to the spaghetti factory to see my first Kangen water demonstration. And I often go back to that. And I think about the way that he invited me and how I felt. And I was very welcomed and I was very excited. And that night changed my life forever, because what I saw, I can never unsee. And I'm here today, a completely transformed human being 6 years later, as a result of what I saw that night and the people that I met along my journey. So again, be empathetic and think about how you would like to be invited to something. And lastly, and most important, do not pitch. This is not the time to be verbally doing the demonstration for them, talking about the oil and the tea bag and the negative ORP and the microclusters. You're not presenting, you're inviting. So as tempting as it is, and no matter how many questions they ask you, do not start the presentation before they get to the presentation. Okay, again, no pitching. Okay, use a third party. If you're a brand new distributor and you're within your first 10 sales of this business, you should always be using your sponsor or a mentor or someone else to help you make those invitations for events. It's just that it makes it that much easier. It makes it more comfortable, and you're going to have better success. Don't try to do it all yourself. Besides, they know you're not an expert yet. They know. So it's much better to have an expert help you make that invitation. Second, emotionally detach from the outcome. Don't get hurt when they say no. Don't let it affect you. Just move on and put them on a follow-up list and continue to move forward. Be yourself. Again, we're going to keep talking about this over and over again. It's amazing how people become a different human being the moment they start talking about their business. Have you ever noticed that when you're talking to one of your friends and then you ask them what they're up to and then they almost like turn a corner and become a different person and they start pitching you on their business? Don't be that person. Just be yourself. Just be more bold, more confident, the best version of you. Bring passion, strong posture. How does your voice sound? How do your shoulders look? Are they slumped over? Or are you standing tall with your head held up? Is your voice strong? Do you speak with emotion? Are you passionate about what you're talking about? If I'm just inviting you to this thing to come see this demonstration next Saturday at the office, you're probably not going to be very excited about it. But if I'm talking about something that radically changed my life forever, you're going to get there. And you know what? I'm even going to offer to pick you up in my car and I'll take you out for a cup of coffee or lunch afterwards. Hey, promise you they're going to show up if you pick them up. Unless, of course, they jump out of your car, but then that's a different problem. But promise you it's never happened. If you pick them up, they will show up. Okay, the process is very simple. We're not going to go into this. You want to be in a hurry. You want to make a compliment. You make the invitation. If I would you. This is the one thing you must remember from this. If I asked you to come to this, or if I saved you a seat, would you show up? If I gave you a gallon of water, would you drink it? If I sent you a video, would you watch it? This is a psychological exchange of value, and it is paramount when you're making the invitation. Get the time commitment, confirm the time commitment, schedule the next caller meeting, get off the phone. It's a very simple process. Hey, Dan, I've always appreciated the way you've done business. You've always been very sharp. I've been checking out this thing, and I would like for you to take a look at it and give me your feedback. The event is this Saturday at 1:30. If I saved you a seat, would you come? You can make it? Okay, great. I'll see you this Saturday at 1:30. Bam, you get off the phone. It takes less than 10 seconds. Very, very easy. And then 2 weeks ago, we talked about the third skill, which is presenting. Facts tell, stories sell. People tend to get a little bit intimidated when it comes to presenting. They think that presenting is standing in front of a crowd or in front of a room of 100 or so people doing this masterful presentation. And, it doesn't have to be that. You don't have to be a great public speaker to be a masterful presenter. We've seen it time and time again. There are so many 6As in Enagic that never even did a presentation until they were 6A. Okay? You can do a presentation so many different ways without it being a big public speaking event. So here are some things that presenting can be. It can be a live product overview, like at the office, one of the demos that we do, or a live business overview. But it can also be a recorded product overview. It could be a recorded business overview. If you share this video, this YouTube video with someone later on this evening, that's presenting. Even though I'm the one doing the presenting, even though Dan and Liz are the actual presenters, you can still consider this to be presenting because you're sharing information. If you do a little basic 2-cup demo, I know Amanda Janis is the master at the 2-cup demo. I know Jen LaFive is the master at the 2-cup demo. A 3-way call. If you get someone on a 3-way call with your sponsor, that's presenting. Putting a loaner unit in someone's house, doing a live video broadcast on Facebook. That's a great way to do a presentation. I know Dan and Liz, again, all the time. They just did a great one yesterday on hypochlorous acid. I think it was 6 minutes long. It was just very informative, short video with a lot of great information, and it was very engaging. Again, this Zoom call is a presentation. If you get someone to the Enagic office, that's presenting. A local event, destination event. Really, anytime you tell your story is an opportunity to present. So what is your story? Okay, what if you're just getting started? What if you haven't even made a sale yet? You still have an Enagic story, okay? 4 elements to your story: your background. What were you doing before? Your pain. What sucked about it? And I use the word sucked because I don't want to know what was bad about it. I want to know what really sucked about it. What was terrible? What was atrocious about that point of your life that you just couldn't take anymore. Okay? And what was the turning point? What was the discovery? How did Enagic show up? And then your results or your outlook on the future. Okay? 6 years ago, I was working in the restaurant business. I was sick. I didn't have time. I didn't have money. My relationships were in turmoil. I was miserable. I had no vision. I had no purpose. I wasn't sure how much longer I was going to live. I was a miserable human being to be around. A great friend that I was working out with shared a gallon of water with me, invited me to dinner. I saw a presentation that changed my life forever. Now, I am a completely transformed human being in every way possible as a result of what he shared with me and the people that have come into my life because of it. That's my story. It took me less than 30 seconds to tell it. And anyone and everyone in this business has a story to share. Okay, mastering the presentation. Okay, first step, learn your story. It's that easy. Write your story down. Then practice telling it. Then tell it in front of the mirror. Then leave yourself a voicemail. Record it a few times. Get used to telling it. Feel comfortable telling it. Learn the opportunity presentation. Learn how to show someone what the first 10 sales in Enagic is going to do for them financially. If you can do that, I promise you, you can get people to join your business. It's a lot easier to get people involved by showing them how they can get a free water ionizer and make $1,000, $2,000 going forward per sale, per month, whatever. That is much easier than trying to explain the properties of Kangen water and convince them why they need to spend $4,000 for a machine they've never heard of. I promise you it's easier. Learn the training presentations. There are a lot of great training presentations. I'm more than happy to share this one with you if you would like to use this for your teams. Amanda Janis has her own training presentation. Liz has her own training presentation. Daniel D. McCauley has his. There are so many out there. Just find one that works for you, that you feel comfortable with, and learn it and practice teaching it to other people. The best way to learn something is to teach it. There is not a single person on this call tonight that's getting more value out of this call than I am, because I'm teaching it, and Dan and Liz are teaching it. And the more the other thing about teaching is when you're teaching, you're accountable, because I don't feel right telling other people to do something that I wouldn't do myself. So it holds me accountable. If I'm talking about these things and I'm training my team to do them, then it's going to cause me to go out and do them as well. Remember, you're the messenger, not the message. Tell stories that create interest, and always be prepared. Have the stuff on you. Have pH drops, have tea bags, have Kangen water, have whatever materials you like to, just be ready. Just always be prepared to meet that next person. Okay, we're not going to get into the 4-question presentation tonight, but there's a lot of great, if you like any of these tools that I use, this is really what I present from. I use our product, our quick product start guide. It's just an overview of all of our products we have. And then a quick overview of the business plan. I have this on a 2-sided laminate card that I carry with me everywhere. And I pull it out every single time I do a presentation or every time I'm talking to a new person. It's very easy and it's very self-explanatory. Again, if you want this, just shoot me an email, steve@truehealthlegacy.com, or text me or call me, reach out to me on Facebook. I'm happy to get this to you. I am willing to share anything and everything I have with you. Okay, secrets to a masterful presentation. Make sure that you're always in state. What does that mean? That means that you are in a good mindset. You have a positive attitude, that you're ready to do business, that you're ready to meet that next person. Again, when you're talking to people, you have less than a second to make a first impression. So when you reach out the hand and you shake their hand, you say, "Hi, I'm Steve. It's great to meet you." Be excited, be passionate. People sense that. Okay, so always be in state. Be prepared for anything. Always be prepared for anything, because you never, ever know what can happen. It couldn't be more true in this business or any other business. If that means having extras of stuff, make sure you have extras. Just think ahead. Don't expect things to go wrong, but think of what could go wrong and what you can do to prevent that and to be prepared for it. This is a powerful way to make yourself a better presenter. Record yourself. Listen to yourself talking. Every time I do one of these Zoom calls, I watch the recording. And I actually count the number of times that I say things like and like. And so I try to make myself a better speaker and presenter every single time I step in front of a camera or a room. Why? Because it makes me more credible. If you sound like an idiot, people are going to think you're an idiot. If you sound intelligent, people are going to think you're intelligent. It just makes sense. So make sure you know how you sound, and make sure you sound good, and make sure you sound intelligent. Be convicted. This means to absolutely 1000% believe in what you're doing and selling. Believe in yourself, believe in your product, and believe in your company. And if you are not using your products, then you're not convicted. And I hate to say it, you're going to have a really hard time selling them. So if you're drinking Kangen water already, drink up. If you're drinking a gallon, bump it up to 1.5 gallons a day. I promise you're going to feel different, and you're going to be more passionate about it and more excited. And you might have a better story to tell people. So believe in what you're doing. Genuine smile and eye contact. This is self-explanatory. Focusing on their needs, not what you have to offer, not your business, not your product. Focus on their lives, their needs, and what they are looking for in life. And then just keep it simple. Keep it very simple. Don't over-explain. Don't go into details that aren't necessary. Less is always, always, always more in this business. And then just be yourself. Always be you. Okay? Remember, the person with the marker makes the money. So that's our review. That's what we've covered up to this point in the last few weeks. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And we're going to bring on Dan Edland and Liz Christian, who are going to be our special guest presenters for this evening. The reason I've asked Dan and Liz to host this portion of the training is because they are just absolute masters at this business, at this especially this part of the business. The follow-up is, I believe, where most eNAGIC distributors miss. And I include myself in that. I get lazy with follow-up. Sometimes I don't feel like following up. Sometimes, for whatever reason, I'll make an excuse not to follow up with a person. It's the biggest, most monumental mistake you can make in this business, because I'm not going to throw out numbers because I know Dan and Liz have them as far as the percentages and whatnot, but I know that most people buy after the third or fourth no. And so I'm going to, without further ado, I want to welcome Liz Christian and Dan Edland, our guest presenters tonight. They have some fantastic information for us. Please give them your attention. Welcome to the show, Dan and Liz.
Thanks, Steve. I'm going to start. I'll get this shared.
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? Good to see everybody out there. I was out all day, and Liz put together some fabulous information. So she has kind of, well, I won't say completely picked my brain into what I do and a little bit of how I follow up in my dripping process. And then we take some of that knowledge, and she puts together these amazing slides with her own flavor, and hopefully you guys will get some value out of this. So can you see what we're looking at now? Can everybody see bricks? Okay, cool. There we go. There you go, honey.
All right, so Steve sent us on the following up educational journey. And so there's exposures and there's following up, and they're kind of one and the same. But following up usually happens after some legwork has already happened. We've already invited somebody to something, they've seen something, and so we're just staying on top of the educational process. So we're going to share some things with you today about that, like what's an example of a follow-up? These things, emails, presenting like Steve talked about is a form of follow-up, a phone call, a text, shared media, so that's social media, videos, YouTube videos, things like that, and referrals. So say the initial meeting of the person, like a woman I met yesterday, she came over to fix the dink in our windshield and was incredibly versed in human interactions, basically. And so the first follow-up I'm doing with her after getting her number isn't, hey, you want to talk about Kangen water? It's, hey, I hear you like to take your dogs to the dog park. Do you want to go to the dog park? So sometimes follow-ups have nothing to do with Kangen water or business or anything like that, but just connecting with the human being and stuff that we're called to connect with. And Steve's right. So it takes an average of 5 to 7 quality exposures. Quality is the big one. Just handing someone a pamphlet and walking away isn't considered a quality exposure. But it takes that many to pique the interest of a potential client. And so we can get a sale after 4 no's, but on average, it's actually after 5 or 6 no's or I don't knows that we're seeing more people ready to buy. And that's the thing, is then closing is really easy because we've done all the legwork. So Dan likes to do something called dripping, and he drips, he told me, on average anywhere from 30 to 65 times a day, which is a lot. This is not my strong point, but a drip is a new and relevant piece of information that is shared with the intention to further education. So this isn't convincing, this isn't selling, this is only sharing information. And that's why it actually is so stress-free for Dan. He actually does it in the comfort of his lazy boy or when he's waiting somewhere. And he has a list of videos for different situations and different people. He finds out where that person is at and what information they're hungry for, what they may not be educated in. And he finds an article, a website. Even just referring to the Enagic website is huge. There's so much information on it. Sending a piece of information to a person based off of our last interaction is actually a form of respect because we heard where the person's at. So what we're doing here when we're following up and interacting and dripping and everything is respecting the relationships that we have. We just look at these potential clients actually as potential family members or friends. So we treat them all as if they're kind of already family. We don't get a lot of stiff arm no's, but we get a lot of no, not now, or no, let me check with my wife, or no, I don't know, let me do my research. So they're not set in stone no's. They're just no, not yet.
And if I can cut in, if this is a good time. So I'd like to point out the fact that, in the dripping process is really kind of, so when you first meet up with somebody, you'll go through whatever that process is, the education. Hey, would you like to see the office? Would you like to try some water? One of those things. I want to make clear the dripping is really, for me, a lot of times after I've gotten the no. So, like a drip, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I took Jerry Costica's 2.5 video on viruses because of what's going on with the coronavirus. I probably sent it out to between 45 and 60 people with the idea of, hey, you know what? If I'm sending somebody new information, I'm not bothering them. Now, they may have been, hey, it's not the right time for us, or we've just got a lot of expenses, or we're putting our kids through college. We kind of, it seems interesting. It's just not the right, it's just not for us today. And I have all those people, what I consider like to be on a back burner, but I never let them go, right? So I will drip on them in this process because we never really know what's going to be the tipping point. So I put that video out there. Hey, I know this wasn't the right time for you, but with everything going on, just wanted to share this information with you and your family. Well, today I got, 2 out of 52 is not great odds, but as a 6A, if I sell 2 machines, right? So I had 2 people reach back out to me today and say, hey, I really want to talk about relook at this machine again based on what you sent me yesterday. Now, obviously the times dictated that, but the thing is we never know what's going to be the tip for somebody. I've been working with somebody for 30, 35 days. Hey, you really need to come to a demo. Hey, you really need to let me come see a demo. You really need to let me show you a little bit more. I want to educate you and your family. He kept going, no, it's not the right time. I need more. I'm busy. My kids got school. He calls me yesterday. You know what he says? You don't ever want to hear this as an Enagic distributor. He goes, you know what? My brother got all freaked out about that virus, and he went online and he bought a KA yesterday. And I'm like, wow. Okay. So, but it happens. It happens to me. It's going to happen to you. But the thing is, if I would have had a little bit more involvement, this was a third party indirect that it wasn't in my control. But the dripping process is something you can control. And so along with that dripping process of new information, you're always constantly like, if they get back to you, hey, I appreciate it. Still not a good time for us. Hey, you know what, Terry? Not a problem. I just want you to know I'm here for you. I have information for you. And I just always want you to keep in mind, you're going to come across this again. You're going to see this again. Something's going to come up in your life. And all of a sudden, what's irrelevant today is going to be relevant to you. And in that time frame, please remember who shared this with you first. And that's a word track you want to get involved with, because not everybody's going to look at your 2-cup demo and whip out their credit card. There is a process to this. Like Liz said, starting at a dog park, building rapport, and then moving down the line. The dripping process is really after we've kind of run across that. It's not the right time, but we never want to get too far away from them. There's nobody in my life that I don't drip with at least every 45 to 60 days.
And Dan's really good at keeping the information in order in his mind. I'm not so much. So I actually keep a journal and have a page dedicated to each prospect. And I write on there what I did, the last date, and it helps keep it organized for me. It's really important that we all find what works for us and make it individual, because we have to create a strategy. So there's not a one-way track strategy for following up, because everybody is starting at a different place. This is just a timeline, an example of if it goes really well, we meet somebody, they are interested, we invite them on a 3-way call with our upline or a friend. After that call, they may have wanted more information. So we send them the 4-minute video on H2 and invite them to the next presentation. There's 2 follow-ups. There's actually 3 follow-ups in those first 2 transactions. They come to the office demonstration. Being there with them is follow-up, because there's presenting going on and educating going on. Multiple dripping and third-party validation. So at one office demonstration, we are actually getting 2, 3, 4 exposures in one. Now that's pretty powerful. Then we address objections and questions after the demonstration. If all the questions are answered, usually they're going, I just don't know how I'm going to financially do this, if that's still an objection. So we go over that. Once we figure out the financing options, usually we're doing paperwork. So it's a good opportunity to do an in-home demo, to ask them if they have anyone that wants to see this too. And after the in-home demo, when they see how awful the chlorine is in their tap water and this and that, and they find out that financing is great and they have no more questions, then we're going to do the machine install. It's a follow-up too, because we can still demonstrate, we can still educate, and we can ask for referrals. So there's so many ways. While this looks like 6 follow-ups and exposures, there's actually more like 12 in there if we do it right. And it's great to bring people, prospects around other Kangen water people. It's so powerful. We don't even have to do the work. We just bring the people around and they see how wonderful you all are.
Well, and then I want to say this about the timeline too, because on here it looks very, very strategic and it looks very well placed. But you go 3-way call with upline, sent them a 4-minute video. You might have to ask them to come to the office demonstration 19 times, right? I got a guy that just got back to me yesterday based off that video that I sent out and said, hey, when's the next time that office is doing that? I said, matter of fact, on Saturday, he said, I think it's time for me to come and see that. But I've invited him every Saturday for the last 9 weeks, right? So going from step 2 to step 3 always isn't the next day or the next opportunity. But if we don't, the fortune's in the follow-up, right? The fortune's in the follow-up. Anybody can talk to somebody, but it's building that relationship, being consistent, and you know, continuing with that follow-up, and you know, waiting for the opportunity, because we never know what's going to trigger that person. We never know, you know, everything doesn't work on our schedule. We don't know what's going to be going on in their life at that moment, or they're going to pick up the phone and go, you know, Terry, or, you know, Steve, it's just time. Okay, great. I did the work a year ago. Terrific. Let's go. So, but if we're not in the game, those things don't happen to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Steve, you said it, when we don't stay attached to the outcome. We do these things and then we find out what happens when it comes back. Sometimes Dan is sending out these videos, you know, 40 times and doesn't get replies. Well, that doesn't mean he doesn't send the new video out to the same people the next time. So there's no time where we have to stop sharing information unless somebody says to us, please stop, which I've got it once in 3 years.
Yeah, I'm not tied to any outcome. I tell people, hey, you know, sometimes I'll apologize and say, I just know for you, it's a question of when, not if, and you know, we'll find that together at some point down the line. But it's only a matter of time before you own this technology.
Yeah. And this is a way, you know, if you want to, you can just measure your timeline for your prospects like this, you know, just write lines and say, this is what I did last on this date, and this is next. If we don't know what's next, we get to reach out to people like Steve and Terry and Alan and say, hey, these are the things I've done. What would you suggest, you know, I follow up with next? So it's nice to have written down content of what has happened so far and to keep track, because a lot of people give up after 1 or 2 exposures or follow-ups, and that is not the right time to give up. There's never a good time to give up. So create a strategy. Strategy is a plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim. Aim is kind of refers to like the hunter, but it's more of a goal. And we can set goals all day long. If we don't make a plan of action or create a strategy that works for us, our goals are just going to sit there on the shelf, probably not being obtained. So it's really important to find out what is going to work for you. Seha says this all of the time. Create a strategy, create a plan, go out and do it, then come back and evaluate, did it work or did it not? Make some changes accordingly, and then go try again. And that is a strategy. So we're going to, following up after the sale is, in my opinion, almost more important than the following up prior to the sale, because there is so much value in the people who have already purchased their Kangen water machines. So we follow up right away within the first week. How are you guys liking your water? You know, how is it, are you able to utilize your device? You know, do you know how to use it? Do you need a new filter? Do you know when the filter sales are? These are all questions that it's great to do a quick text. Hey, the filter sale is coming up next month. Just wanted to let you know, by the way, how are you? And open up a conversation again. Do they have the NESPA? Do you know of anyone that would benefit from this as much as you are now? That's huge. Referrals are so important in this business, and our third party, we're a third party for the people who have already purchased. And actually being a third party is so much easier than being the person introducing. So what would you say about following up after the sale?
Well, and I like that. And the only thing that I was going to add is, you know, when you use their words, hey, you know, hey, Steve, how you liking that device? Oh my God, me and the missus, we just love it. Terrific. You know, anybody that would want to benefit from the same benefits that you guys are feeling? You know, a lot of times when I get back in touch with people about the filter sale, they'll go, you know, matter of fact, my next door neighbor, he has been asking a lot of questions. But like Liz said, the person that goes out there and spews a little too much information once or twice and gets their teeth kicked in a little bit, they all of a sudden get closed up and don't talk about anything anymore. And we wonder why so many people, you know, wander off and they love their device, but they're not moving units, or they're not, you know, being able to share this technology. And that's kind of why. But when we have this conversation, you know, a lot of times, you know, we'll revisit. Do you have a spa? Do you have anybody you want to talk to? Oh yeah, matter of fact, my neighbor across the street's been inquiring. He's got a little acid reflux. Maybe you could, I can't really explain it the way you do, Dan. Terrific. You know, let's go do that. So, you know, we're always, everybody in Enagic is always looking for new people, but they forget we have all of these people that are already in our business, and they wouldn't sell back the machine for a $2,000 profit. They love the device so much that, you know, that's a huge pool, because everybody knows how many people, right? And, you know, they don't have to be a salesman. Hey, how would you like to let us show somebody? So there's a huge pool of people right there, and we can usually find that after the fact when we're following up for a sale. So it's always a good idea. Plus, it keeps you connected with them, and you know, it's just a good way to go, because they feel like that you're there for them. And you know, when we want to talk to their neighbors, we want to talk to their friends. I want to help them get a new filter, and you know, and so that's just part of staying connected too, because that's also how the person who doesn't do a lot of this will call you up after a year and a half and go, you know what, can I just get one for my mom? Can I meet you at the office tomorrow? And you're like, hey, okay, cool. You know, but we have to have that relationship for them to feel like they can reach out like that.
Yeah, and I love that you're going to be doing a mindset training, Steve, because I think a lot of the mindset stagnation happens here in the follow-up. And so I'm really excited that you're going to be doing that. And people love being asked questions. So a lot of the follow-up I end up doing with people is kind of not on the spectrum of the water. It's about their lives and their businesses. People light up talking about their businesses, but people really light up talking about their animals and their kids, right, and their passions. So sometimes I go off on tangents where I hang out with somebody for a couple of hours, and I was like, oh yeah, we were gonna do a water demo. Today's not the day. Let's move out. And it ends up being just a follow-up of, you know, a personal relationship follow-up. So it's all good. So we wanted to go over something that we can follow up with right now. It's what we made the live video on yesterday. And right now over here in Seattle, we're experiencing a community under duress from the coronavirus outbreak. As Kangen water ionizer owners, we have a responsibility to share information that may decrease the risk of furthering the spread of this bacteria and this illness. So sharing that the 2.5 hypochlorous acid is FDA approved to kill bacteria, molds, and pathogens. Let's use it and share it as often as possible. So we can call, text, or email our clients, or we can put up an Instagram post or a Facebook Live or anything like that, and reminding them or telling them for the first time of the 2.5 for killing germs and the importance of proper hydration for a healthy immune system. We're not as frightened about this whole thing going on because we have our Kangen water. Like I'm like, okay, I have my emergency packets or whatever, but I have my Kangen water. Like, it's gonna save us. We have 2.5s. We're spraying it on everyone. We're telling everyone about it, because that is one huge tool that we have right now to share with people, and it could make a huge difference. It feels like even a stronger mission now that we have something so powerful and so inexpensive and available right here that we can just share gallons and gallons and gallons of it. So,
you know, it's interesting that every news broadcast basically has the same three things: get hydrated, try and do whatever you can to boost your immune system, and please, if you do nothing else, wash your hands. And I'm like, oh my God, that device should be on King 5 News. Are you kidding me? I mean, what better way, right? You've got the antioxidants for your immune system. You're going to stay hydrated. You've got this hand sanitizer. You know, we're not being exploited like people are paying $50, $75, $100 on Amazon for a little teeny thing of hand sanitizer. I mean, people are being exploited every day through the bottled water crisis, and now it's gone to where they can't get anything at all. So they're buying under duress and being price gouged for water, price gouged for this, and you know, we're the manufacturing facility. I can make as much as I want. I can make as much 2.5 as I want, make as much water as I want. And so that's been kind of my message. Hey, and you know, and I'm a little more brash than most, I'm not going to lie, but I reach out to a lot of people all the time and say, you're already spending the money. You're just not getting any of the benefits. And I got no problem. Like yesterday when I was shooting that out, I probably said that to 8 or 10 people. Hey, you know, I hate to be that guy that reminds you, but you're already spending the money. You just don't got any of the benefits.
And I think, yeah, this is the last one. And Dan said it, the fortune is in the follow-up, but it is in the action that creates motivation. So we hope that some way we motivated you to get on your follow-up, whatever that looks like, because I know that I struggle with this too sometimes, where I go to an event and I meet all these people and I have these names and emails and these stacks of people's business cards, and it's like, where do I start? We start with where we start: an email, a text, a phone call, just something to get it moving, and then we can start, you know, going from there on to the next. We don't get hung up on one person for too long. If they're asking a lot of questions and this and that, it's time to get them to an event or to a third party who can share more information. And you know, let's work with each other, because we might get stuck with somebody and Steve might have the answer or Terry might have the information. And so let's just stay in action when it comes to following up, because that's how, in the end, we're all getting food on the table and keeping our roofs over our head.
And the other thing is, you know, and you want to be diligent in that. Even, I mean, because sometimes that limited belief and that voice in our head will say, God, you know, he doesn't want to hear from me again. You know what? Don't do that, because you know what? That's going to be the same friend that you're going to talk to in 3 months, and he's going to go, oh, Terry, yeah, you know, you still got that thing. I got one too now. Really? Who'd you get it from? And that is the worst conversation to have, man. I mean, we're here, we're in the trenches. Everybody on this call is an early adapter. I promise you, amazing things will happen to you if you just continue to share this water diligently over time, and don't be one of the ones that bows their head and walks away. And it's just, but there is just no worse phone call to have when somebody close to you goes, hey, I got one of those things now too, and you're just going, I mean, that's a rough feeling. So, you know, be the guy. Don't think that you're bothering people, because the thing is, it is going to come in their life at some place and in some space, and you're not in charge of when they're ready for it. You know what? But when they do get ready for it, you want to be there to receive the ball.
Yeah, and I guess I just want to end with two things. One is our follow-up with ourselves and where we're at. It's really important for me to check in with where I'm at with things when I work in caregiving and spend less time with the water, and then end that and come back in the water. So it's good for us to check in with ourselves. Where are we at, and who is it that I can reach out to get into action about this? And then the last thing is, I am so excited that Alan Moons is going to be presenting at the office. I have been praying for this day for a while, because I just know he's going to do so amazing. And
no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. But we're there to support you, and I just think it's a beautiful thing that you're stepping up into that place, brother. So thank you all for the time and energy you've spent tonight with us, and thank you, Steve, for the opportunity to step up and be accountable. So love you, brother.
Wow. Thank you guys so much. Liz, Dan, I want to sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart for, you know, Liz, for preparing that and for taking your time and just sharing your wisdom and your technique with us in the process. Because, excuse me, as I said, as far as the people I know, I personally don't know anyone in this business that's better at the follow-up than Dan and Liz. I mean, just absolute masters at this skill. So just thank you guys so much for sharing that. A couple things that one thing I did want to, Dan, you mentioned, and you touched on it very briefly, and I just want to kind of expand on it a little bit because it's a phenomenon that happens often and I've had this with people in my business. They come in, they get the machine, they're excited, and they say, you know what? I know 35 people that would buy this tomorrow. And, you know, I'm going to have all these people. And what they do is maybe sometimes part of the problem is they may be part of another networking business and they're already doing that business the wrong way. But what happens is they go out and they just fire hose people.
Right.
Really fire hose them with information about Kangen water and just drown them.
Right.
And they don't get any results. Right. And they talk to all 35 of those people and they come to you with this, nothing. And they quit. And you try to coach them on the right way to do things, and they're already so defeated. They don't have any teeth left because they've all been kicked out.
Yeah.
And they have no energy and no drive. And what you end up with is a user only, which is still better than nothing, but come on. If we could just get people to slow down before you run out and talk to all your MVPs, right. Slow down and do the process right. You know, get with your sponsor, listen to your mentors, listen to what the people who have been doing this business for years and who have hundreds of sales, listen to what they're doing. The easiest way to master something is to find someone that's already mastered it and copy them. I promise you, maybe at best, 3% of the material I put out there is original, at best. Almost everything I do and say is copy. I'm a plagiarist. I'll admit it. Dan will admit it. Carlos will admit it. Daniel D. McCauley will admit it. We just copy what the experts do. The groundwork's already been laid. We don't need to go out there and reinvent the wheel, guys. All we have to do is do it the experts and the ones who are already succeeding are doing. It's that simple. So being on these calls and being at the trainings, that's why it's so important. There's no useless information in these trainings because Dan, Liz, myself, we're talking to you about things that we've already experienced. We know because we know. We've been there. We've done it. We know what works, and we definitely know what doesn't work, right? And we don't continue doing what doesn't work. Why? Because what do they call that? Yeah. Insanity. Exactly. Continuing to do the same thing, expecting a different result is insanity. So,
you know, Steve, I'll just cut in really quick and say, you know, Terry's on here and he's out there in Oklahoma. And I mean, dude, I just love that guy to death. He's one of my die-hard, ride-or-die partners. And, you know, it's really one of those things I'm always telling him, brother, just don't go anywhere. I mean, all we're doing is what worked in California. And I promise what working in Seattle is going to work in Oklahoma. They're just a little bit behind.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the thing. They're just a little bit behind. But I'm always telling him, man, just hold on to the reins and don't let go because, you know, the people that are on this call are such early adapters. I mean, we are so far from the average person knowing what Kangen is. And it's just, but you know, we're not reinventing the wheel out here. I mean, I'm on the phone all the time with people in California. What are you guys doing down there? What do your demos look like? What's going on at the office? They're trying to get new ideas. And then I'm telling him, hey, man, just hold tight. Whatever we're doing in Seattle will work in Oklahoma in a couple of years. Just hold on. Let me find out, you know, what that blueprint is. And you know, and the crazy thing is if, you know, when I'm back there and we're together, we're selling machines. I mean, he would be a 6A 5 times over if he lived out here. But it's just, you know, we have to utilize each other, right? And so that's why I really wanted to get on this call tonight. But like how I'll utilize you or Alan might utilize me. I mean, we have this community of people, and that's what we need to you know, we need to utilize each other because we're far more effective together than we are separately just trying to talk about something, you know.
Absolutely. And Dan, that is the best segue to end this call because you know, I just want to throw it out there. I am available to every one of you. I don't care whose team you're on. I want to help you because we're on the same team, right? We're in a service business. We're here to serve each other. We're here to serve other people. So if yeah, Terry, look at that. It's like Pets Night here on the call. Dan had his.
Hey, that's his brand new pup. He just got that puppy like a week or two ago. Just so cute.
It's stealing our show. We need to do a pets episode. Okay, we'll do one of those after we're done with this training. We'll do it strictly on pets, how to take care of them, how to bathe them, what kind of water they like, all that stuff. But
absolutely,
Dan, thank you for that segue because you know we are available. We want to help you. I'm available. Dan's available. Liz is available. Alan's available. All of us. Reach out to us if you have questions. If you need help. If you need a 3-way call. You know, I know that I've done a lot of work with restaurants, high-end restaurants. If you're working with restaurants or if you need advice, I'm always giving people advice on how to work with restaurants. And I know Dan's always given advice. And, you know, so we're just helping each other. So feel free to reach out. I'm always available. My email is steve@truehealthlegacy.com. I'm pretty sure everybody here has Facebook. You can find me on Facebook. I'm not hard to find. My YouTube channel is True Health Legacy. That's where all these videos go. So in about an hour and a half, you'll be able to find this on YouTube. Tomorrow, I will post this to Facebook. Reach out if you need help, if you need any of the information that we shared, if you want any of these trainings, any of these slides, any of the materials. It's all for free. We don't charge for any of this stuff. We're here for you guys. Our next call is 2 weeks from tonight, 7 p.m. It's going to be on skill number 5, which is closing, where we make all the real money, right? Cha-ching. And so we're going to be preparing an agenda for that, and we're going to have more guest speakers on for that call, so please join us. Make sure you check out the YouTube video. I want to sincerely thank, first and foremost, Dan and Liz. Amazing material, amazing presentation. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your wisdom. All you do for Enagic. You know, Dan, Liz, and I have known each other for several years now. We've been blessed enough to travel and share meals together, go to conferences together. It's just been an incredible experience working alongside them. So thank you. Appreciate
you, brother.
Thank you to my team. Thank you to Alan and Zan and everyone else that's been part of these calls. I love you guys all from the bottom of my heart. God bless you. I love Enagic. We're doing this forever, and we're changing the world one family at a time. Thank you, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
And Steve, anybody local, I'm doing it at the office this Saturday, so anybody wants to come, or if you just want to send a guest, they're going to be well taken care of. So everybody have a good night.
Thank you, everyone. God bless you.
Bye. How do we stop?
I don't stop.